welcome to Needing a Meeting. My name is Carol. I'll be your host today. And do we have anybody in the chat yet? Not yet. But you guys are here. I'm seeing some numbers on screen. That's good. Good to see you. Hello, Ben Bacon Bits. Good to see you. I have something I want to talk about today, but I might wait till a few people pop in on screen before I go there. How's everybody doing today? Talk to me. Okay, well, that went well. Oh, you guys. It's all right. So, what I would like to talk about today is fear. Fear was one of the first things to go after a drink or two, and that's one of the things I loved about it. And, and it was something that I lived under constantly. And I don't know if it just comes with the territory of doing some work on yourself or what. It's not that I don't experience fear. I do. But it's not an all-pervasive thing like it used to be, especially when I was out there drinking and using. When I was not drunk or high, that was my baseline state, was fear. Hey, Plant Freak. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I was just talking about fear.
Aha.
Yeah.
I've got a new saying about it.
Oh, good.
I've got a new saying about it. Fear is only going to deter us from what it is that we need to do, so we may as well just be aware.
Right on.
So, yes, fear helps us see the future. Yes, fear helps us understand that we may be nervous about it, but we can be nervous but aware and educate ourselves at the same time.
Yeah.
So I'm trying very hard to always be aware.
Right on. Yeah, because it's real easy to get afraid. I mean, just paralyzing fear about something.
Yep. Oh my goodness, yes.
Yeah.
I still struggle with
You still struggle. Go ahead. Sorry.
I still struggle with, sometimes I'll wake up and it's just, I know what I have to do for the day and it's like, I am fearful. Yeah. But then at the same time, it's just like, okay, you know what? Yes, I may be worked up about it, but what is it that I need to do? I just make myself aware. And if I procrastinate on it, what's that going to do? Just make it worse, and I'm going to sit in the fear instead.
Right on. And that's
it's helping a lot.
Right
yeah.
on.
And honestly, what I needed to do was look at the definition of fear just online in Google, in the Google box.
Yeah.
Put in definition of fear and definition of aware. And that alone was able to help me kind of shift my mindset so that I'm able to at least not sit in the unhealthy version, which is what I would call the debilitating fear.
Yeah.
And turn it into a healthier version.
Mm-hmm. Right
So,
on.
for example, I had a tough last couple of weeks, and I wanted to go out for dinner. I was going to treat myself. But then I got so afraid that I was going to have a drink, because all I want to do is sit on a patio and drink, because it's my first summer completely sober. So I was so afraid that I was going to sit down on a patio and I was going to drink that instead I just went, nope. I'm aware of how I'm feeling right now. And because I'm aware of that, what are the proper steps I can take? Yeah. Instead of going out to the restaurant and sitting at a patio, I went and picked up the food that I would want and just made myself something a little bit extra extravagant that night.
Right on.
Yeah.
I love that.
Thank you.
Psychology Today defines fear as fear is a vital response to physical and emotional danger that has been pivotal throughout human evolution, but especially in ancient times when men and women regularly faced life or death situation. So it is a very primal thing that's interwoven into our DNA.
Exactly. And we don't have the same fears anymore as humankind or race, however you want to look at it, depending if you're into sci-fi or not. But it is a primal aspect of us, and that's why I'm trying to alter it to aware, because we don't have the same fears anymore. Yeah. We don't have to fear that the saber-toothed tiger is going to kill us before we kill it. All of our meat or vegetables, whatever it is that we're going to hunt and we're going to gather, is already at the store for us. We just have to make it to the store to get it.
And if you're a farmer, it's out in your field, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
We're raising our food instead of hunting it for the most part.
Yeah.
For the most part, yeah. I wanted to say hey to some people. Hey, Cosmic. Hey, Brazy Girl. Good to see you here. Thank you for being here. Wally, good to see you. 5 more minutes before the summer solstice. Yes. Goodbye, spring, my least favorite of the 4 seasons. Is it because of allergies or something? I always liked spring.
Yeah.
I'd take a saber-toothed tiger over some of the people in our world, to be honest.
Yep.
Right on, Wally. I can't really argue with you there.
No.
Not really. So what's your take on fear? How do you deal with it?
I absolutely love Plant's methodology.
Yeah,
for
I do too.
Thank you.
She's a smart cookie. Don't tell her I said that, though. Just shh.
But, it's going to go to her head. I swear.
That really is a great way to get out of it. And dittos to everything that she said, where she's talking about how fear, we have primal fear. Fear is useful.
Yeah.
It can engage, adrenaline and things like that. But the problem is like she was talking about with the saber-toothed tigers and panthers and all that stuff. We don't face the same things. And what happens is in our world, we take it with us, and we tend to not be able to do anything therapeutic to get rid of it. So it gets to be really, really problematic. The fear is really interesting, though, because it is so easy to detect body language wise. It is so easy, and much of our society is driven off of it. If you watch, I've been harping on TV commercials and television in general, but if you go to, if you look at television news, what they will typically do is they'll give you a feel-good story. That's where you get that dopamine. Okay, then they'll give you a fearful story. That's where you get that cortisol. And they'll switch back and forth sometimes. Something designed to make, it may not make you feel good, but something they think will make you feel good. They'll do that. And that is part of the love bombing and fear cycle.
Oh, yeah. They really play on those insecurities. Those fears.
Yeah, that's the cycle of abuse that cults do.
Yeah.
And television stations do it now. And, it wasn't that popular 10 years ago. Boy, howdy. Well, 20 years ago. But man, today it's the order du jour. And it's just amazing to me to see things like that weaponized. But I absolutely love what Plant does for that. And I think
I love it too. Good stuff.
Yeah.
When did you?
Sorry, Carol.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
That cycle of fear that Ben was talking about, like, it's a cycle of fear that isn't just played within, like, the large religious group that controlled religious groups, or within commercials and things like that. It's almost like this same pattern is in unhealthy relationships, any version of it, right? So it's like
Yeah.
we've taken what we know about unhealthy relationships and we've applied it to the rest of the planet.
Mm.
And as a society, I think that's a little bit disturbing, but it gets us what we want, and capitalism.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, like Ben said, it can be a useful thing, but so much of the time it's just keeping us in a state of anxiety.
Yeah, and
yeah.
that's the unfortunate part is that it is also so easily crippling.
Yeah.
And that's where we often experience it because, I mean, I know I've harped on it a gazillion times that frontal lobe or the prefrontal cortex, how we do not, it doesn't engage. And that is where most of us spend most of our time is somewhere in a state of fear where we don't think and we get so high, you get into that beta wave, which basically it's a fearful state where you're so hyper focused on something. And if you do that, you will not find a solution. I mean, it's designed to help us find a solution.
Right?
That's why we have it, but unfortunately in our world we don't really have that because we don't have panthers. It's
I do.
rare.
I've got a panther. No, I'm talking about human form. I've actually got
Okay.
someone that I'm terrified of. Like, so I've got a panther.
It's rare though that we're out in the jungle and we're looking for that hyper
Yeah.
focus. We're looking for something moving. Most of the time
No.
we're sitting behind a desk somewhere and trying to figure out, oh my God, how am I going to pay my mortgage? How am I going to pay for this? How am I going to get whatever? And unfortunately, it deprives us of that critical thinking center that we need in our world.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
That
people.
just describes perfectly what I went through after I got, like, last weekend. I
Yeah.
went through the step. I was so heightened in my fear that nothing could get through. So that's, that's exactly right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I find that anxiety techniques help me a lot when I'm unable to get out of my fear. Because there's points where I can't do it.
What are your anxiety techniques?
Remember when I first started coming, you were reading it was a focused muscle, like we tensed our certain muscles and then we let it go. It was a relaxation thing. Remember that? I've been doing that. I went back to that video and wrote it all down.
Right on.
I went, there's that visualization or meditation has been helping a lot. And I actually found an Irish storyteller here on YouTube that I absolutely adore his voice. So it helps me a lot. And he tells stories versus a focused guided meditation. So it's kind of nice to just listen to a story instead of being like, I need to get out of this fear. I need to get out of this fear. So kind of distraction. It's a distraction at the same time with visualization.
Yeah.
And then the other one is a type of box breathing, which is breathe in for 5 seconds, hold for 2, and out for 7. And I find the extra time at the end helps me a lot because I'm focused a little bit further on how much air I'm letting out versus I'm going to let it all out at once. Yeah.
Yeah. That's okay. I love that.
It's pretty good. Yeah, and a lot of the variations, like breathing just simply in through your nose but out through your mouth. If you purse your lips, that will cause your heart rate to just go down a little bit, but every little bit, every time you do it, and just helps regulate that a lot. But that is really good stuff.
I love it.
I love the storytelling part because that's something that a lot of people wouldn't think of. Was not too intuitive.
That's how we calm our kids down sometimes. Telling them a story.
And I'll be honest, when I get triggered into my fear, I go back to 7 years old. That's what I feel on the inside. So to be able to find, I'm 37, so we're talking 30 years now, to be able to find something where it's like, oh, okay, that might actually work. It's nice. It's really nice. I'm going to find his link and I'll put it in the chat.
Okay.
There's also a dude who does AMSR history. So like
Ooh.
so I'm like there was Mary Magdalene and no, not Mary Magdalene, someone else, someone else famous that I can't think of that started with M. He did recently Michelangelo. There we go. He painted Mary Magdalene. So anyway,
Okay.
but it's just really interesting because you sit there and you're like, one, you're learning, and two, if you as you drift off to sleep, and maybe if you sometimes I go in between sleep and out of sleep for like an hour or so. But so when I come back in, instead of it being like some weird end of the meditation music, it's like back into history, and I like that.
Yeah. Where does the ASMR come in?
He's got like it's like his voice is very calm. Like it's not like
Okay.
history. There's no not the history channels where they do the repeat. Yeah, like they you've all of a sudden you'll have an ad or something because it would be I don't know. I don't know. It's just calm. AMSR is the voice. I think I need to
Okay.
find a different voice because I'm starting to find him a little bit pompous. so, so I'm looking at, but I know it's out there now, so I'll do it. And I have tried the stories. I've had Lord of the Rings read to me, and during the rain with a fire in the background by a really nice English guy. So that was good.
That sounds
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, it's like Audible, but through YouTube, so it's free.
Yeah.
I found the Sherlock books read by Cumberbatch, and that is now put on my list.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I found that last night.
Nice. I loved
hope-
that series.
I hope there's
Cumberbatch.
penguins in it.
Right?
Penguins. He doesn't know how to say penguins. It's a YouTube clip. It's pretty funny.
I haven't seen that yet.
It's a Graham Norton thing, and I think it's Graham Norton. But anyway, he did this. He was doing like a voiceover for a nature thing, and
Yeah.
every time he said penguin, he'd pronounce it different. So it was like penguin or penguin. It's just, I can't do it because I'm not funny. But it's just hilarious. So
Oh my God.
but he has now learned how to say penguin.
Wow. Now that he's played a dragon, I do hope so.
Indeed.
So the name of the storyteller was Stephen Dalton. I'm just going to say it on film in case somebody doesn't have the chat going on replay later.
And it's Stephen with a PH, right?
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stephen and then Dalton, Dalton.
Okay.
Hmm.
Shannon Smith subscribed. Good deal. Storytelling is an art, and the storyteller has to have a good voice.
Say hi,
Yeah.
Cosmic.
Hi, baby.
Say hi, Cosmic. So, I think I've told you all that I've written a children's book, and I plan
Yeah.
on writing more. But I've also thought about starting my own YouTube channel of reading children's books and other books and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The reason being, and I actually have a couple of family members that are willing to like act out certain parts for me. If I need a part acted out, like I do the reading and they do the acting out part. And so I haven't worked it all out yet, still in the works. But would you guys mind if I read my story that I've written? It might help a little bit.
Sure.
And Stasia, you'll probably relate to this story.
Okay.
It's called The Sun Comes Back. It's too dark and cold to get out of bed. Mom calls that it's time to get up for school. Snuggle, snuggle, snuggle. Breakfast is ready, Mom calls. Thick socks, underwear, t-shirt, pants, sweater, dress, dress, dress. I mixed in butter and brown sugar and cinnamon in your cream of wheat. Mom fixed a warm breakfast. It's time to get your parka on and head to school. It's such a struggle with winter clothes. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Isn't it time for the sun to come back? I walk through the snow on my way to school in the dark. Trudge, trudge, trudge. Hey, friend, You look sad. I see my friend come towards me. Run, run, run. You shouldn't be sad. We will see the sun today. We are outside the school waiting for the bell to ring. Shiver, shiver, shiver. I'm so cold. I'm ready to go inside. Standing in line to go inside. Sway, sway, sway. It's so dark. I'm so tired. I want to go home and sleep. The bell rings to go into the school. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. We have library today, my friend says as we pass the library. Stomp, stomp, stomp. Good morning. Today is a special day. The classroom doors open and the teacher greets us. Hug, hug, hug. Do we get to see the sun today? The teacher looks at me with a finger to her lips. How long do I have to wait to see the sun? I think as I take off my parka. Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. Do you know when we see the sun? I ask my friend as we go to our desk. Whisper, whisper, whisper. Is it time to see the sun yet? The teacher tells us it's time. Scoot, scoot, scoot. The sun, I see the sun. How wonderful it is to see the sun. Cheer, cheer, cheer. And that is my story, and that is how I read stories. What do you guys think?
I love it.
Yeah, that is amazing. And yeah.
You guys know Maya from Norway. She's not Maya, the porter, the arts crafts porter. She comes on sometimes, but she lives in Norway. She lives 1 degree farther north than what I did in Inuvik. And here are 3 of the pictures she has done for the book so far.
Oh, right on.
Here, I'll put them up a little closer. So this is when they get to go to the window and watch the sun come up. This is walking to school, and this is also walking to school.
That is awesome.
Oh wow.
So what age group is it going to be for?
I would like to think it's for any age group because it describes what it's like to live up there, not being able to see the sun for a month and then just wanting to see it, no matter how long, you just wanting to see the sun. And people in the South don't know what that's like or what those feelings are like. So I would like to think a parent would get it for their child and read it to their child and think, hey, I like this book better than any other book I've ever read.
Right on.
To my child. So I would like to think it's for everybody, but it'll probably hit the 3 to 12-year-old ages.
Okay.
Because usually after 12, they're not much into picture books, and these are what these are going to be, is picture books. But I like the idea, like I said, this is how I read. I'm a very animated reader. I always have been an animated oral reader. And so I thought I'd read my book, see what your guys' thoughts are on my book, but also what you think of my reading ability to be animated.
I like your voice.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. I think it's a good idea. Definitely. You know what? How did Tommy put it? We want to support there isn't too many of channels of everything so far. Everybody has their own niche for a reason. Right. Like this storyteller might not, the storyteller I suggested might not be somebody's cup of tea, but there's going to be another one.
Yeah.
And you know what? There's a storyteller out there for, 3 to 12 books that isn't somebody else's cup of tea, but you're going to start yours and you're going to be their cup of tea.
Right. But I just thought it would be fun and something to do. I'm not looking to make any money doing it, except for my book part,
Yeah.
But, and Maya's excited about the book being published. Her family is excited about the book being published. My family is excited about the book being published. So the book must be published.
Mm-hmm.
And I found a publisher and everything that I'll be working with. It's just I have to raise the money now for it because I'm self-publishing.
Okay. So what do you do to conquer fear?
Hide. I mean, quite honestly, I do. I hide. I hide within myself. I just, like I said in chat today, you know, I've had a pretty rough day today already. Well, it started last night and went into today. And part of that is probably my menopause. But part of it, I think, is just, and my biggest fear is fear of myself, if that makes any sense whatsoever.
Big time. Big
I'm
time.
afraid that what I do, how I act, the words I say will make somebody so mad at me. Sorry.
It's okay.
Will make them so mad at me that they don't want me around. And then my fear takes me to that point of, well, maybe I should just leave. Maybe everybody will be better if I just, you know, walk away from the family and leave.
Oh, wow.
And not, you know. And unfortunately, that was today. I was needing this meeting today because this is one of my big struggles.
So do you reach out to somebody who, or maybe even to a family member, you know, to be reassured that it would be a tragedy for your family for you to walk away?
I know that.
Yeah.
And eventually I get that fear to calm because of something somebody in the family will say to me, or something that is asked of me that, you know, they're considering my feelings as to whether or not I'd be able to do something. And so that's when the fear starts to subside.
Okay.
But I guess you could say when it comes to my internal self fears,
Yeah.
I don't deal with them well because I just bury myself deeper into that fear.
You described exactly how I feel. The don't want to disappoint people, you know, don't want to upset people.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just like, but in the end, who gets upset the most? Who gets used as the person who doesn't want to do the upsetting? Because lots of other people don't care if they upset people. They're quite happy to do it all day long. You know, it's their job in some cases. But
I live with one that's like that. My child.
And it's just, and like, speaking of, you know, today's probably going to be absolutely the last time I see Mia, because once I get out of hospital or whatever happens after today, because I'm going after my physio today, got my list. I even wrote a bit of a journal last night. My journal was about how much I like pens. It was about pens and also a list. So this is my messy journal, and this is my nice one for nice thoughts that I'll leave behind for people to read. But
I have journals I have journals saved from years back, and like you can tell, like, this is when I'm calm and I'm okay. This is kind of a little bit of when I'm upset about something.
Yeah. It's very, very rarely that I write calmly in a journal. Generally, it's for, I don't know, it's just there. But it's been so long since I've done one. But anyway, so Jared was meant to come last night to pick up the rest of his stuff, and I knew he wouldn't. So I got that into my head for ages, but he'd said that he would, and I still can't get past when someone says they're going to do something, they should do it. You know, and if they're not going to do it, let the person know that they're not going to do it as soon as possible, so that person's not waiting on you. That's my biggest thing that I've had with him, and so I've basically said to him that before I want everything out, the whole room clean. That room was clean, and I want the quote for the carpet replacement ASAP, because I want this sorted so that I don't have to come back to this, because this is one of the things that actually created the situation in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he just doesn't. I didn't want to see Mia. I wanted it to be like, give her a hug for me, and I'll start writing her letters. I'll write her a letter. It's really great to get a letter in the mail. And he's bringing her anyway, and I'm in this state.
I'm so sorry, Cosmic.
Yeah, I am
But
too.
that's part of my fear. I can't say no because I don't want to disappoint her because it might be her idea.
And
So
I understand that, Cosmic. I really do. I understand that saying no is really, really hard
Yeah.
because you don't want to disappoint. But for our own mental health, sometimes we have to say no, whether it upsets somebody or not. And we can't take what they're feeling onto ourselves. I
Yeah.
want to preach this, I'm dealing with it myself right now. But by taking on their feelings onto ourselves, all it does is make it harder on us, because
yeah.
then we're carrying not only our own load, but their load as well. So if you need to say no, she cannot come. Say no, she cannot come, and let them deal with their feelings about that. Let them deal with that and let it go. Just say no, stick to your no, as hard as it is, as hard as your fear of disappointing is, and don't let them tell you whether they're disappointed or not. Don't, and listen to one of your stories that makes you feel better.
Yeah.
Listen to one of
Well,
the stories that lift you up, that is an example of somebody who has that strength that we sometimes lack as a person, because it's hard. That's all I can say is it's hard. But we have to stick to our nose, because if we don't, we just destroy ourselves in the process.
yeah. Well, I think that's what's got me here. Is my lack. And you know what? You said it perfectly, because me and my counselor talk about this a lot, once a week. Is that a lot of my fear, like fear of children who have been abandoned or abused, is that throughout life we then carry the fear of abandonment, because when we say no, then something bad happens generally, and so that's something that carries through. And because it was for me, I was an infant and probably seriously abandoned by a very young mother who didn't really know how to parent other than to dress me up. So that carries through, and then that carries through onto other relationships and all that sort of stuff. So even leaves us more primed to being love bombed, because we're finally getting something that
Yep.
we missed out on. Like that we should naturally get love bombed by our parents. That's something that comes with love you. But it's not love bombing because it's natural and it comes from a natural place. But it's a natural sensation to feel an overwhelming sense of love from your parents. And I've never had that. So, and if you don't have that as a child, that's why hugs and love and bonding is so important to children, and even into adulthood. Hugs are so important. So, and I just want to say to Shannon, I'm so sorry that that's the response you got. And for me personally, I have to reach out to other people and not talk about my problems generally. Like if that's one of the reasons why I like being the one of the whatever it is, the red people on Discord, is because I can help people when I'm feeling low, and that actually raises my vibration a little.
Yeah.
But when you're at your lowest, sometimes you need someone else to be there for you instead, rather than because I don't know how good I'd be at the moment, because I'm really not. No. But yeah,
I
gosh,
know.
look,
I know that abandonment, like for a child, is devastating. But
Devastating.
even as an adult, when you're abandoned, whether
True.
it's by somebody that you have children with, or by your family members, like a brother or your parents, it's devastating. It hurts you. It racks your body with that fear that you're going to be abandoned again.
Yeah.
And so that's where that fear of upsetting those around us comes in, because we're afraid that if we stand up for ourselves, we're going to be abandoned. But you know what? I've come to learn that it's better to stand up for myself and have them mad at me. And, you know, if they want to walk out of my life, that's on them. That's their problem. That's not my problem. Now, accepting that sometimes is hard. I'm not going to lie. So accepting that sometimes is hard. But saying, no, I'm not taking what you want to give me because it's not mine to deal with. And I need to save myself. So I'm not going to take what you're giving me. You're going to take your own. And I'm going to stand up to you and I'm going to say, no, you can't do this to me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let you do this to me.
Yes.
And if they choose to walk out, that's on them. And then you have to flip the switch on that of saying no to them and saying yes to yourself, that I am a strong person. I am a good person. I am the person that everybody comes to for advice or for hugs or for love or for just whatever. So I am a good person. So it's their loss, not my loss. And we have to think of it in that positive, that I am good. I am worthy. And they're losing out. I'm not losing out. But to put it into positive words, Deja, please help with that one.
Putting it into positive terms.
And instead of saying I'm not missing out, I'm gaining. Maybe I'm
No,
gaining
I'm
the ability
choosing
to.
me. I'm choosing my happiness. I'm choosing my mental health.
Yeah.
There you
Because
go.
that's one of the biggest things that I've learned right now is, like, as I was saying yesterday, the can't. I'm trying to get rid of that. And just saying I choose me instead of I can't do that helps me so much.
Yeah.
Yes.
So much.
I even thought of it in a different way. In my own little, maybe not quite so positive way, is like, if they won't choose me, I will.
Exactly. I choose me. Yep.
I choose me.
But it's like,
Yep,
but I
that's
also have to
exactly.
say to those people, if you don't do this, I will, because no one else has done it before. So now it's about time I did. So
Exactly.
but that's basically what it just came to my head, is like, yeah, no one's done that for me, so I got to. Although that's
Yeah.
not entirely true.
Wow.
I have
That's
Mel.
big. That's
That is
big,
huge.
Cosmic.
Yeah.
That's
That is.
big.
That's really big.
Yeah, only
Yeah.
just came to me then. So
You know.
thank you for that. That was pretty good. And you know, when you think about it, like someone said, you know, if conditional love isn't love, you
No.
know, it's not
It's
even
not.
love. It's just
Control.
yeah,
Manipulation.
yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, it's kind of wow. But then I do have Mel. She's like my best friend in the entire world, and I can't say that she wouldn't do anything for me, but I also have to say that I hope she would choose herself first if it came down to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. We all have to choose ourselves. We all have to take care of ourselves, because if we don't take care of ourselves, then how can we be there for others that we love that might need a little extra help up, you know?
Yeah. Well, see, that's
So
generally how me and Mel work when she's down. Like the other day, she couldn't get out of bed, so I found somewhere I got this burst of energy, and I cleaned up her house and all that sort of stuff while she just had a bit of a rest, because like that's how we work, when one's down and the other's up. So that's why I know that I'm pulling her down at the moment. So because you know, she needs to be lifted up a little bit at the moment. That's why I'm going to take myself to get professional help.
you know,
It's too much for
but
friends.
but that's the thing. You realize what you need to do for yourself to help your friend as well, even though you are thinking of your friend, you're still thinking of yourself. So it's a double plus. You know,
Yeah.
you're caring for yourself, but you're also thinking of your friend in a positive way. You're not thinking of her in a negative way where, you know, if you can't help me get through this, then I don't want to be around you. No, you're saying I have to take care of myself. You have to take care of yourself. So we're going to take this little bit of a break so that we can do what we need to do, so that we can come back together and continue with our friendship and be there for each other when we need each other.
Yeah. So that's kind of what me and my sister did too. And she's talking to me again. So the
Good.
house stuff
So
is all
awesome.
yeah. And I'm talking
Good.
to my mum. I've decided. And Carol, I did read your message, and it took me a few days to think on it about, telling my daughter and all that sort of stuff. I didn't get to tell her; somebody else did, so I don't know how she was told. Because the way people relay stories is not always completely accurate, and me and Angel
Exactly.
are down to accuracy of words, and because context is important. So my
Yes.
biggest
Yep.
fear is that she's now going to think that I got my friend to tell her. And I'm just thinking, doesn't matter what she says, that's what anyone says, that's what she's gonna think. Because that's what I would think if it was my mother. I'd be like, she's just getting someone else to call me. And so it's kind of put me in a difficult position, but it's also good because I don't know how I would have told her. I don't know
Okay.
how.
Well,
I did. Well, I
and
did. I sent her a message. I sent her through her boyfriend. I said, I got emphysema. It's okay. I'll be probably okay. Can you please give up vaping or something like that on those terms? So, and yeah, that's basically what I said, but it was through message. I don't know how I can talk about this to my daughter.
yeah, Crystal, here's the thing, or Cosmic, here's the thing that what might help is we were just talking about everybody has to take on what they do or how they react to something of their own. We don't want to take it onto ourselves. And how
Yeah.
we might react isn't always how somebody else might react, whether they're family or not. I mean, we
Yeah.
all react differently in certain situations. So your friend telling your daughter what's going on with you, accept it for what it is, an action of love that she wants to help you. Or your
Yeah, I
sister,
know.
it was your sister that told her. And
No,
how
no.
your
It
daughter,
was one of my friends. Yeah.
yeah. And when your daughter reacts to that and how she reacts to that, that's on her. She has
Yeah.
to take ownership of her own reactions. You can't do,
Yeah.
it's not good for you to do that. So by letting go of that fear of how she might react is going to help you progress forward. And she's either going to do one of two things. She's either going to accept what she was told and come to you and say, Mom, I'm sorry, or she's just going to blow it off and be the way she is, And can you control either of those outcomes?
No. But you know what I'd really like
No.
to happen? I'd just like her to ring me up and ask me for a Animal Crossing tip.
Yeah.
And then we start from there and we don't talk about anything else. Everything else we start fresh, new. That's what I would
Yeah.
love. We don't
And
talk about
that's a
anything.
great way to restart. That's a great way to restart. But
Yeah.
again, it's going to be on your daughter to decide how that's going to happen
Yeah.
or if it happens. And then on your side, you're going to need to accept what her
Whatever
decision
happens.
is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's never fun. Sometimes it can be. Sometimes it turns out not the way you want it to, but we still have to accept it for what it is. I never talked to my brother for almost 20 years because of the time I spent in the hospital and the way I was down before I went to the hospital. He was contacted and he got mad at me. He got mad at me for putting him down as a contact person
Wow.
for me because I had nobody else.
Oh
Oh
my
gosh.
gosh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. And then he goes through cancer and everything. And you would think that he would stop and think about how I was feeling. No, didn't matter. It wasn't until about 3 years ago when I went by myself to see my family on the West Coast and spend about a week with them that he finally started to talk to me and open up to me. But even then, I still don't hear from him unless I reach out to him first. Abandonment, fear of abandonment.
Ooh, it's a biggie. It's a biggie.
My parents, when I left Alaska let's see, I was 25, I'm 56 now, so 31 years. before my dad passed away, I saw him maybe 4 times in the 13 years after I left Alaska. 4 times. My mom, in 31 years, I've seen her maybe 8 times. 31 years. Now, I talk to my mom about once a month on the phone. But you would think that knowing they had grandchildren, and I was the only one to provide them with grandchildren. My brother and sister-in-law did not have children. She had a heart condition. She could not have kids. You would think my parents would want to visit more often so they could see their grandbabies. It didn't matter. And I didn't have my children for them to come visit. I had my children because I wanted children. But they didn't come visit as often as they could have. My son's wedding to his wife, my mother put a religious event above my son's wedding that she knew about for a year. And the religious event she went to, she decided to go to about a month and a half before my son's wedding.
Yes.
Rebecca, you get that. You get where I'm coming from on that one.
Absolutely. They care more about the group and that happens to be, and it has nothing, if you are not doing exactly what they think you should be doing exactly when they think it should be done, you do not matter. And
Yeah.
I don't understand that conditional version of love.
I don't either.
I'm sorry.
As much as I love my kids and as much as they aggravate me at times, and as much as like right now they've got me tore up inside, I would never, ever use any kind of conditional love on them because of what they might have done to me or made me feel because of the words they used.
Yeah.
And that's part of what I have to let go, is that I have to realize my son talks in a certain way. He's always talked in this certain way. He sounds angry all the time, basically. Or he sounds like he's accusatory, but he's not really being that way. It's just the way he vocalizes his voice, which is really frustrating sometimes because you just want to smack him upside the head and tell him, will you knock that crap off, please, and just like talk like a normal person instead of sounding angry all the time. But that's who he is, and I have come to accept that's who he is. Now, do I have to put up with it? No. I walked out of my house today, slammed the door behind me, because I didn't want to deal with the way he was talking to me. That's me standing up for myself. I know that's how he is. That's me standing up for myself, saying, no, I'm not going to talk to you if you're going to talk to me that way.
Right on.
It is what it is. Wally, I saw what your comment about having few men to talk to because of the way they communicate. And I have to say, I am very, very lucky because I have 2 men in my life that communicate between each other all the time about their feelings about dealing with household issues and stuff like that, and are usually on the same page. Mister, I'm talking here. Oh, you think it's funny? Oh, thank you very much. Sorry, child.
I think it's funny.
But my men are wonderful about that. They will sit down and talk to others about their feelings and stuff. So I count myself very, very, very thankful that I have 2 men in my life like that, because they'll sit down with me as well when I'm going through what I'm going through and get me to talk. And they don't let me shut down, which is
I just
a
wanted
good thing because
let Shannon know how I change my temperature. It's a DBT technique. So if I'm in the throes of my very high catastrophic thinking, which is generally, usually I'm at home or somewhere where there's an ice. I'm usually somewhere where there's contained. But I either, if there's a fridge or freezer, I can grab ice if I'm thinking about it and put it on the back of my neck. And you can put a cool flannel here. These are all soothing techniques from DBT for panic people and people who suffer from most of the things that we guys have here. And also, if you're able to have a shower straight away, you can go hop in the shower, make it comfortable. Don't shock yourself when you get in, because otherwise you won't want to do it again. So you get in a comfortable shower, and then say if it's a really hot day outside, you turn it all the way down to cold, because that's going to shock your temperature as well. And then and then you can do hot and then cold and hot and cold, and that just sort of, it's like it resets your brain or something. And then you can kind of calm down a little, and then maybe start thinking a little bit less catastrophically. And also the catastrophic scale is something that's helped me along, the catastrophe scale. So for me, the worst thing in the world that could happen is, well, I have to try and think about it for the other people. What would be the worst thing in the world for other people, because I'm catastrophic. So I don't know, think of a 10 for regular people, which I can't think of right now. House burning down, everyone dying, I guess. And then for me, I have to relate where my number on a normal person catastrophe scale is, a normal person. And then that kind of goes, okay, my house is not burning down. Everybody's all right. We're all safe. And then I start working my way down until, okay.
Yeah.
But I also have to be in the right frame of mind to do that. It can take a bit of practice, but I've had a lot of years getting my daughter to learn the catastrophe scale, because she's another catastrophic thinker. Raise my kids well. But it really worked with her, and it's like you can kind of bring yourself down a little, but you also have to work out, and it's good if you have a visual guide when you're first learning, so you can imagine what the catastrophe scale is, and then you can put where you are, because I'm a visual person. I learn visually, even though I don't see visually in my mind. But it just really, really helps. And that's a scientific way of helping. It's not... also, essential oils can actually help. I was actually saying it's not airy-fairy like essential oils. But yeah, they actually are. I have a little bottle that my mama, Mel's mum, made me. And it's like a little roll thing with pure essential oils, all these ones that I like in it. And that can bring me back, because it's like I can just roll it on my skin and be like, and it kind of brings me back, because it's a nice smell. It's a soothing, calming smell. So if I'm having a particularly stressful day, I've just remembered I've forgotten about that. I used to pull it out and just rub it here so I was ready. And it's also a bit of a stim thing for me now. It's like... So, but yeah, there's just a few things that I've learned from myself and DBT.
Yeah, the part where you get hot and cold, that is very, very effective, especially effective against people who cutters. Very good treatment for them. It kicks a lot of dopamine in. Yeah, and they've had a lot of luck with that, with self-harm people. Even some traditional addicts and things like that, they find that it really helps with it. It is, I mean, there's all sorts of different ways you can do it. You can do it certainly if you have the temperature range to go very hot to very cold in a shower. A lot of times, like some of us will take and fill up a bathtub full of ice. You have to go out and buy ice to get that much. But yeah, you sit in a sauna, you go and you jump in a thing of ice. It shocks the living snot out of you. You do that a few times. There's places that have this where you can do that, where they have saunas and then they have ice
Nordic
baths.
spas.
Yep, you just go back and forth.
Yeah, Nordic spas do that. The heat to the cold, the heat to the cold. Yeah.
In the Arctic, they just have the sauna on the side of the river, and then they jump in the river, and then back in the thing, and then they back to the little warm hut.
Yeah.
Up in Whitehorse, when I lived in Whitehorse, there's a hot springs there, and in the wintertime, we would sit in the hot springs, and then we'd jump up and roll in the snow, and then jump back in the hot springs, and then jump out of the hot springs and roll in the snow, and then jump back constantly. And people that would come to visit, they're looking at us like we were crazy, and we're like, what? It feels good. What can I say? If my feet are too hot, I can't sleep at night. When I was a kid, I'd go stand in the snowbank to cool my feet off barefoot in the winter so that I could sleep at night. I have to have ice cold feet to go to sleep at night.
Huh.
I can't sleep
Well, I
otherwise.
use my feet are my temperature regulator. So when I'm a bit warm, I put my feet out, and then until I can, like, they have to be kind of hanging over the bed a little, but not too much. So if the monster gets me, I can go boop real quickly. Because I always think there's someone under the bed.
Yeah, I'm there with you. Actually, my problem is I sleep in between two people, so it's kind of hard to stick your feet out from under the covers because, in the middle of the two people.
Really?
The fear you talked about earlier, the fear of wasn't looking bad. It was a fear of
Losing people.
the fear of looking bad in front of other people. That's actually a very common one. It's that the root of reason why people fear public. They fear public speaking more than cancer. Nobody's really afraid of public speaking. They're afraid of looking like an ass in front of a lot of people. They're afraid of screwing up somehow, and it causes people to fear that more than physical injury. So
and there's also rejection sensitivity dysphoria.
Yep.
So you get lots of people. I haven't looked into it too much, but lots of people who've been through trauma and neurodivergencies and all that sort of stuff can have this sense of immense rejection that isn't actually there. So someone can look at you the wrong way, and that's it. They never want to talk to you again, and that. Everybody has that to a degree, but when you got rejection RSD, it's debilitating. It stops you from doing a lot. It stops you from stops a lot. And I think that's a major part of my not being able to say no is the sensitivity to dysphoria. People will probably take it better than I imagine. It's just the ones that I've actually said no to haven't taken it so well. But like we were saying before, they are the ones that shouldn't be in my lives. And for some reason, I keep holding on to toxicity for some reason.
So I do have RSD. And the only time that it has started getting better is when I have removed the unhealthy individuals from my life. Because now I have the ability to practice saying no without being harmed. I needed to have that factor of not being harmed before it became not debilitating. And then I could start doing the techniques that I was talking about earlier to get through fear. Now it's aware. It has taken 6 months, 7 months to be able to really start making visual, like I can see the progress, progress on it. But the only thing that I can suggest to anybody is as hard as it is, as much as we want to keep them around, we need to clear ourselves and clear our energy just to be a little bit better for ourselves.
Yeah.
For us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I wonder if that would help.
Speaking of, one of my clearing of energy people, the vibration was me, and they've been trying to get a hold of me apparently, so I'm gonna have to deal with that after.
Oh.
So I say that mainly for me. Sorry, I say it outward mainly for me.
Oh man.
Rebecca,
go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna ask you a real quick question. Is your gold sheep any better? His eyes still glowing? You still your gold sheep with the parasite? Is he doing it better?
My goat? Or are you
your goat? Yeah.
Yeah, your goat, or I guess it's a goat, not a sheep. But
he seems to have perked up a little. I gave him his first dose last night. Seemed a little perkier today. He's still sitting down a lot, but he's a little more alert. So I'm hopeful.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, hopefully he doesn't get the other sheep to be his Jaffa. Yeah. There's another classic reference there.
Love me some Stargate.
Ben had a Stargate symbol on his computer earlier, and I was
Yeah.
the squirrel in my brain went running, and I just started thinking Stargate.
How are you, Rebecca?
Speaking of,
I
Okay,
am
sorry.
pretty good. Very fatigued today, but pretty darn good.
Good.
I'm just gonna send the trying to stay on top of the positive way that I phrase things, both to myself and to other people. So just trying to send the good positive vibes out to everyone else.
Nice.
yeah, I did that thing. Oh, what's that happening? Oh, what's happening?
Thank you, Rebecca.
My camera's
There's some of
having a moment.
It did something funky. Yeah.
What was I saying? I forgot now.
I did too.
Oh, the things that we say to other people, when they're telling us how they're feeling and all that sort of stuff. If we don't it just keeps reiterating. If we only just turned it around and started speaking to ourselves like we're our dearest friend, So I just think that's something that's really relevant.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And you said that you're more visual, right, Cosmic?
Yeah, I need to see things to believe them and learn them, I guess.
So for me, I write them. I'll fold a piece of paper in half so that I can go back and I can see it. I'll write down I have a list that just keeps going, and there's papers upon papers now, but then that way I can go back to it. Maybe that might help. You write down your fear. Yeah.
Oh,
sorry.
My fear.
Yeah, you write down your fear and what your concern is for the moment, and then on the other half of the paper, you're writing down like directly beside it. And I'm finding this is going to sound completely strange, but above and below does not work for my brain. Writing above what the issue is and then writing below what the proper thing is to say, the positive, what I would tell a friend, it doesn't work for my brain. I have to fold the paper in half. Yes, I have to see the contrast. Literally looking at the paper, I have to see the bad, the good.
Yeah.
That's a good
that makes a lot
method.
of sense. Yeah. Well, see, I used to write things I was worried about and put them in the freezer. So, because I was like, just put that on ice until later. And apparently, you can do this. If you're a little bit witchy, you can do the same thing with people. If you want people frozen out of your life, and it's not a curse, it's just it's a way of doing it symbolically, and it helps you think about it every time you open the fridge, I think, or freezer. Is like, that person is frozen from my life, and then eventually you can melt them and put them in the bin if you don't want them, but it's like a way of removing someone from your life in your head as well as physically without doing them any harm.
Okay.
Interesting.
Are you doing that with a certain person now?
He keeps going in the freezer, he'd find it. But no, see, what's going to happen though is that after today, I'm going to be blocking. Well, I'm going to just delete numbers, delete everything. I'm not on Facebook, so if anyone's, I'm on Messenger. I couldn't figure out how to delete Messenger, but I thought I can't delete Messenger because sometimes it's the only way I can get into here. But I kind of need to withdraw from that situation because I think we've got a trauma bond of some sort, and I need to break it. So yeah, but I did this. Like, we're not. The other day, he said he doesn't want to be my boyfriend, and I was like, "Did I ask? When did I ask? When have I ever let you think that that's what I wanted?" And I'm just like, I actually said literally the opposite. I said, "I'm not your girlfriend. Can you please come get your stuff?" And he's just like, I don't want to be your boyfriend. I'm like, thank you, good. But it was so weird. It's like it actually kind of made me think. He's one of those people who only sees what he wants to see, even if someone is telling them right to their face in actual words, even in text. Because although, to be honest, I don't think he reads text. Unless it's like the last word, first, the last word, nothing in the middle. Too long, didn't read. But it's just like, I think I have to do this, and I've done it before because I had a partner, and when I lost my baby, and we weren't doing very well. He was very shouty all the time. Like, he would shout at the TV, he'd shout at news. We never really fought. We never fought. I used to get upset at him for getting upset at people who can't hear him. I'm like, I'm the only one who can hear you. They can't hear you. Can you? Anyway, so I went to hospital. I took myself to hospital that time too because I was in deep depression. And I said to him, don't be there when I get back. And that was the best relationship ending I've ever had. There's no animosity. I just sit here thinking,
Nice.
I hope he's all right sometimes. I hope because I sent him back to Perth to be with his daughter. That's one of the things we used to disagree about is I wouldn't go to Perth to leave my kids dad all the way over here. I wouldn't do what was done to me, basically.
Right.
But it was great. And he was gone by the time I got back, and it was like, because when I get out of hospital, I'm like, you're coming back out into an unsafe world when you're in a really safe space. So you feel a little bit like a newborn baby and you have to relearn things, and shopping's scary, and coming back here to this situation and the possibility that he could come back is terrifying. So I'm hoping that we can sort out this whole house before I get out and stuff like that. Basically, what he did is that I told him to leave, and then he came and got some of his stuff, and I go around locking all my windows and doors because I'm fearful of someone. I have a panther who can unlock doors, and then I find out that he'd come back to the house because he'd unlocked the back door. So he was here, or something, or the back door was unlocked somehow magically. So he'd been here when I wasn't here. So now my fear that this house is no longer safe for me because anyone can come in, or he might have a key that he's found. So now this house isn't safe because my panther, I used to feel safe within the walls, but not anymore. And he's taken that from me. And so I just don't, I've lost sort of, I used to get angry at him. I feel nothing now. It's just so the only thing I feel is a little bit upset that I won't see Mia anymore. Because if he comes with Mia, sorry, Mia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. Goodness.
Yeah. That hurts. But as Tony said, that's not my problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's not.
He betrayed you by coming in your home, which is your safe space.
Big
That
time.
was so wrong.
Wrong. Yeah.
If my ex ever just walked into my house feeling he had the freedom to do that, I would be like, okay, I'm not living here anymore because he got in here somehow and I don't know how he got in my house. Now, granted, we usually leave the doors unlocked, so it's really easy to walk in my house. But, and I have a doggy door that, the big one that was jumping up licking my face. Yeah, she can make it through the doggy door. So, pretty much anybody can get through the doggy door. But I never worry about my safety because I had two very protective men in my life that, just try something. I would not want to be you because they're going to come to my rescue.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's actually honestly one of the reasons why I had him here for so long is because when he was here, at least I felt safe. He's bigger than my panther. And panthers generally attack other panthers. So, but now he's even taken that away because I don't feel safe within the friendship that he's not going to try and leave the house unlocked or something. So it's just a done deal now.
Yeah.
I'm just so tired. I'm so tired.
And you should not have to be dealing with that even at this time.
I mean, it's draining emotionally and physically because you constantly worry about your safety, you know?
Yeah.
And
But it just goes to show that, and this could happen to. This is one of the reasons why women would pick the bear. You know, because the bear probably won't leave your door unlocked and harass
yeah,
you
because I got
endlessly.
one's a great big huge bear. You know, he was called a grizzly bear by a friend of mine one time because he's like got this big bushy, like it's not big, but he's got a scruffy beard and he's got hair down to here. His hair is actually longer than my hair, believe it or not. And he's 6 foot tall and weighs like 200 and some pounds, and he's a big guy, you know. So most people see him and they're like, yeah, okay, understood.
Can you see the comments, Cosmic?
Yeah, I have a Google Nest, a Google Home thing. So it used to be part of my abuse because my abuser used to have it on his phone, and because it's got this camera and it's got motion. You can download this program, an app that connects to your Google Home thing, and then it sends you a little message or a little clip of a video, and I can even get a security company to do it. So I haven't wanted to set it up because it felt creepy, but I'm going to set it up for when I'm not here, at least anyway, so that if there's any movement, Mel will get the messages and she can sort that out at the house. So, because I'm not even sure if I'll be allowed a phone, but yeah, exactly. The bear doesn't pretend to be a nice guy. You know it's a bear, and watch out. You know, that's probably the best way it's been put.
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah.
Yeah, but see, we weren't in a relationship. I don't have fear of him. Not really. I'm not afraid of, like, he's probably the first person, like, first male I've actually properly stood up to and been like, and been all like, meh, and then walked off and not been afraid. But so I thank him for giving me that gift, because he's given me the gift of no, I'm not afraid of him.
Good.
So positivity.
Yeah.
That's a positive outlook on it. I like that.
Yeah.
Where I'm at, there is an association that for I really don't like the V word. So for survivors, there is a fund where they will pay for your security system, and the security system will go directly to the police station, directly to the fire station, directly to the hospital. I don't know if that's an option where you are. Like, I know that you're not going to be at this residence for much longer, but I don't know if it's going to be an option or something that would help you in the future. And again, Australia, Canada.
Oh, we have similar systems because we've got something over here that's very much the same.
Okay.
I already have access to that. It was just everyone's so busy, and now I'm like, I don't want to. Everyone was just so busy with dealing with life that I kind of got pushed to the backside. Not on purpose. It's just that everything else was a bit more urgent than installing cameras. So, and that's fine and fair enough too, because now I'm not gonna be here much longer. So I'll save whatever the security process. And you know what? Once I'm not here, he's not gonna know where I am.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So, because I've already had the house. We have this thing where they come through and make sure your car isn't bugged or your house. There's no electronic devices going through the house. That's how they found a couple. So,
wow.
Yeah, I had a camera. There's a camera. But that's something that's really important too for women. If anyone's ever leaving, they're so easy to find you now. Like, I've got these devices. They're Apple AirTags. They can just hang one of these up underneath your car, put it somewhere safe in your engine. You're never going to know about it unless you've got an iPhone, because it will connect to your iPhone if you've got that app. If you've got it activated.
It works on Android too. It works on Android too, so you can run that search to see if there's anything in your area or near you.
Oh, good. Because this is I only found this out when I was looking for my keys. I didn't realize my keys. I forgot my car wasn't here. Someone was borrowing my car, and so I was like, "Where are my keys?" And then I saw that my keys were away from my house. I'm like, "How the heck did that happen?" And I'm like, "How am I doing this? I thought this was just for me to find my stuff throughout my house or when I'm close by." Turns out, no. but because I'm always losing my phone, so but I can't connect this to my phone. But yeah, it's just something that's possible, and then you can get cameras that are smaller than the pen print of a pen. There's so much, and they're like under $5 from eBay, full magic capability it's just what people can do and what they have the capacity to do, and what I don't know they seem to be allowed to do. Because these things shouldn't be legally available. They should be illegal. If you're having these, why you have these? If you've got a camera, make the camera visible so that people know. Otherwise, what's the point? You're just trying to catch people out doing the wrong thing, or there's something weird about it, I can understand nanny cams, but even then, nannies, they should have cameras all over the house, so they should be aware, because you don't want to catch people in the act. Stop them from doing it in the first place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When I moved, my partner gave me to borrow 2 of those like Ring cameras. Now they were hooked up to his system, but I had one on both of my doors, and outside I had a sign posted saying that this is under video surveillance. But I knew because it was motion sensitive. And so I'd get a little notice on my phone if somebody had come in or did something, and it was a deterrent. So my ex-landlady, who was notorious for going into apartments without asking and just kind of doing her own thing, I know she did not do that. But she also knew there were cameras because
there's a deterrent
posted.
I just haven't given my real estate any keys or the code for the front door, so they can't get in.
That works too.
They keep asking me to. I'm like, no. They're with the house. I'm not separating anything because I don't trust anyone. And she's getting rid of them anyway. So, but I just think that even you can get fake security cameras that, like they look like they've got the lights and everything. So that's a deterrent, but I would still have a real one because people don't care about cameras anyway these days. You should see some of the videos that show people seem to like to poop in front of security cameras in people's yards. It's been happening. It's I know.
The things that people do in front of cameras is just disturbing.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of cameras, I'm about ready to pass this baby through the camera to Cosmic because he's driving me crazy. He's being fussy.
Although as soon as baby started to get a bit, I'm like, head back.
Yeah, I can't do that. His daddy worked today for about 3 hours and his back's hurting a little bit, so he can't really hold him right now. So I give him a little bit of grace for that.
Right on.
Yeah. Well, I have to get going. I've got a list of stuff I've got to work through. No. I'm not sure what's going to happen today. If best case scenario is I get admitted and then I can be out in a few days, so that because it doesn't take me long. I'm a very patient, as in a compliant patient, I should say. I do what I'm told because I'm there for a reason. So I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not taking that.
Yeah.
I'm like, give me. I'll take whatever. I'll give it a go. So I'm not sure what's going to happen. If I'm not here on Monday, you know that what I wanted to happen. But even if that doesn't happen, I will be linked into the acute care team, which means I'll be an outpatient, which means I'll get checked on constantly, and I'll be seeing so either option is good. It's just that I'd like to not be here for a bit. I need to remove myself from the situation, and I don't think I'm very good at males either, so whatever happens, and it's only up from here.
When will you know, Cosmic?
Well, I've got physio in 3 hours, so I've got to pack and all that sort of stuff then.
Okay.
And then come back and get my dog, and then I go. So I'll know probably, I don't know, lunchtime. No, I'm going in today, so it could take all day. It is public health, sister. So, but I am going to get going in by ambulance because I need a bit of oxygen, and stuff like that. So I'll be going in by ambulance, and they tend to. You don't get in any quicker. They just put you back out into the ER room. But at least I'll get some oxygen first.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
you take care of yourself,
Yes.
Cosmic,
Okay.
and we will see you when you can come back.
Thank you. I'll
Yes.
try and
Many
message if I
healing
can.
thoughts to you, my dear.
Thank you. I'll
Yes.
take everything. Prayers, everything. All
Right
right.
on.
I love you guys, and I shall
Love
Love
see
you
you
too,
Cosmic.
when I'm looking at you.
Thank you for letting me cry, everybody.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's been, like I said, it's been a rough day. I mean, when it started last night, because I was told that there was laundry that sat in the washer for 3 days, and Mallory was trying to do laundry. And I'm like sitting there thinking, wait a second, she does that on the regular. She leaves laundry in the washer for 3 days all the time, and I have to rewash it and then put it in the dryer. She didn't even take time to rewash the stuff that had been sitting in the laundry for 3 days, or in the washer for 3 days. And I'm just like, and that's just what set me off. That's what sent me spiraling. And then Dustin had a rough day, but he wouldn't open up and talk to me. So I felt like I was being pushed away. And it just like, and then this morning, and I just like, I went down that path, even though I try not to. Sometimes, as hard as you fight it, it seems like the harder you fight it, the worse it becomes. You kind of
True.
have to not fight it and just accept it for what it is,
Right
and just
on.
realize, okay, I'm headed down this path. What can I do to help me come back from this path? And I knew
Yeah.
what I needed, and that's why I'm here, because I needed a meeting. And Carol
Nice.
provides the most safest place I know of.
Thank you.
And I have to see Ben every day. I mean, really, come on
Yeah.
now.
For real.
So Ben, I love the little things. You want pie. It's just subliminal messaging. First it says you love Rebecca, and now it says you want pie.
Hey, I told Tara last night that I make pie. I make all kinds of pies. I even do mud pies.
Do you want to chat, Tony? We can chat
Yeah.
after. I'm done with work now.
Okay, yeah, we'll chat.
Okay.
Tell you what, I'm going to hop off. I love you all. Thank you
Love
for
you too,
being here.
Tony.
Again, Carol, Ben, you make it so that it's easy to talk and just let the tears flow if they need to.
Right
So,
on.
and the one time I disappeared, I had to meet my pharmacy dropped off my medications for me that I had ordered. So I had to go to the door.
Right on. No worries.
But you all have a great
You too.
evening. I shall see you all tomorrow.
Right on.
Hey, Ben, take it easy. Don't eat too many of them spicy peanuts.
Unfortunately, I'm having a layoff. So, yeah.
You're going to tear your stomach up, man.
You know, I need to figure out a way to incorporate, like if we're all sitting around talking, but somebody really is really in a, like, say I need a meeting, y'all, or you don't have to use the y'all part, but I'm just saying,
No, the
I
y'all
need to make that be a thing, that if
Yeah.
somebody is needing a meeting, that we all rally for that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
sure do. And actually, I mean, I'm patient. I'm like Cosmic. I'm that patient. I will do what I'm told. But sometimes just listening can help with the healing. Just
That's
hearing
true.
everybody else's thoughts and stories, and you think about where you're at, and you're thinking, well, shoot, why didn't I do that? That would have been a really good thing. For me this morning, I was listening to rock and roll music. You know, that was what was healing to my soul for a little bit.
Nice.
So that's what
Right
I
on.
did. And I went and took care of my chickies. So, but you all have a good evening.
You too, Tony.
I will see you all tomorrow.
Okay.
Take it easy. Don't do too much. Don't stress too much if you can.
Right on.
Love you all. Bye.
Love you too. Bye.
I will go too. I've just been hanging out in the chat a lot today.
Right on.
Love
Right
you
on.
both.
Love
And
you
Ben,
too.
I love those messages on your monitor.
Yeah.
If nobody's told you today how much you rock. You rock. Lots and lots. Have a great rest of your night. Love
too,
and
Rebecca.
support, and hugs to everyone in the group too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, made it through.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that your goat, if his eyes glow, you will tell me, right? I mean,
I'll tell you.
okay, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Starts overdressing and okay.
Yeah. Definitely.
Well, I do hope you have yourself a great
You
day.
too. And thanks, Ben.
Well,
I always love what you add. Thank you.
thank you so much. You have an awesome day.
You too.
If I can find the button. Oh, there. Good. God.
Thank you guys. This was a good meeting. It was a nice, and even though there was some topics, but it was nice and light, and we are ending on a light note, and that's what I want. I want us to be able to be uplifting to each other, without compromising a need. You know what I mean? I hope that makes sense. Because there's a reason for needing a meeting, and sometimes you just need to meet up with people, and you need to talk, and you need to work through something, and that's what I want it to be for. And I hope it is that space. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for being part of this community. You guys are just awesome and beautiful, and I love you so much. And I thank you for being here. Hope to see you again tomorrow. Next meeting, 3:40 Central Time, same place. And until then, peace, y'all.